Third part. Mali. Ba't yun? Ayun. Lungs. Confined inside the body cavity. Circulatory system bridges the respiratory medium and transport tissue. Bakit? Kasi we have closed circulatory system. Respiratory structure, epithelium plus dense capillaries. So you have a very thin epithelial wall found in the alveolar wall and then surrounded by a dense network of capillaries. Okay, so we expect lungs, ang liit-liit lang ng lungs, ang liit-liit lang ng chest cavity ko. So maliit ang surface area, but because of the alveolus, presence of the bronchioles, tumaas yung surface area ng lungs. Okay? So this is the lungs. So paano ba yung movement ng air kapag humihinga kayo? Pasok si air through from outside punta sa external nares, external nostril, punta sa nasal cavity, and then internal nostril. Remember, yung internal nostril will lead to the pharynx. And then pwede namang kung ayaw nyo sa ilong huminga, sa mouth, pasok sa mouth, punta sa pharynx. And then yung air na hininga nyo, pupunta sa larynx. Okay? Sa larynx, on top of that, makakita kayo ng vocal cord. So, glottis muna, and then larynx. And then you have the trachea. Magbabranch siya into the two bronchi. So, bronchus. Then you have bronchioles, mas maliit na bronchus. And then here, this is a bronchus. Magbabranch pa si bronchus into smaller structure called an alveolus. Sa alveolus, manipis lang tong wall na to. Maraming epithelial cells dyan. Dyan magdi-diffuse yung air that you breathe in, and then pupunta sa blood vessel. Let's say nagamit na natin, we have this deoxygenated blood. Yung deoxygenated blood carries carbon dioxide, so dun papasok ang CO2 and then lalabas nyo siya. Okay, pabaliktad lang nung direction kanina. So yan, tandaan nyo lang kung paano pumapasok, paano lumalabas yung gases. Air we breathe, filtered by hairs and cilia. So, importante yung buhok sa ilong. Importante din yung cilia na matatagpuan sa ilong. Yung cilia ay hindi yung hair. Yung hair ay hindi cilia. Cilia ay smaller structure, microscopic, na nakakapag-filter ng air that you breathe in. It is warmed, humidified, and sampled for odors. Bakit kailangan i-humidify? You have to mix it up with water vapor so that once it reaches the alveolus, madali na siyang makaka-diffuse through the alveolar wall. Mammalian respiration. The act of swallowing moves the larynx upward, tipping the epiglottis over the glottis. This stops you from breathing when you are swallowing food. Kaya, bakit ba dun chochoke? Kasi anong nangyari, let's say may nagpatawa, lumunok ka ng food, nalunok niyo yung bolus, or umiinom ka and then may nagpatawa. Ang nangyari is nakakalimutan na iangat or hindi pa nakakaangat yung larynx masyado, hindi pa nasasarado ng epiglottis yung glottis, nakapasok na yung water, nakapasok na yung food that you just swallowed. So, kaya importante na kapag lulunok ka, siguraduhin mo hindi ka matatawa, kandi papasok siya sa glottis nyo. Glottis, the opening of the windpipe. Larynx, adapted as voice box. Kasi sa larynx, you have, on top of that, are two vocal cords, cartilage, that vibrates when air is released. Syrinx, this is the vocal organ of birds. Okay, kinaiba niya sa larynx, it's found below the trachea. Kung yung larynx ay yung voice box natin on top of the trachea, yung syrinx below the trachea. And isa pang difference nila ng larynx that it does not contain cartilage. So parang ang ginagawa nila is para silang sumisipol kapag nagsasalita sila. Okay, so sound produced when voluntary muscles stretch and vibrate during the process. High pitch, mabilis yung pag-move ng mga muscles na yun, mabilis yung move nung vocal cords, and then tight sila. Low pitch sound, less tense, slow vibration. So just remember, gitara, yung manipis na wire mas matinis ang tunog, yung mas makapal na wire mas bass, mas mababa, mas low pitch yung sound na napoproduce. So itong block na to, dapat picture yun, video yun ng vibrating vocal cords. You can search that sa YouTube. The phlegm. Epithelial lining is covered with mucus and beating cilia. Kasi hindi lahat ng waste or ng dirt ay natatrap sa hair at sa cilia sa may ilong. So, meron kang last stand. Ang last stand matatagpuan sa lungs. Yun nga yung presence ng mucus. So, pag dating ng air na you breathe in, matatrap siya sa mucus. So, after some time, mapupuno yan ng dirt and then dadami yung mucus, mararamdaman nyo, iuubo nyo yan. Iuubo ng iuubo hanggang sa umakyat sila sa may trachea, sa larynx, hanggang sa umabot sa pharynx. Pag nasa pharynx na, doon na kayo magde-decide. You're going to swallow it or idudura nyo. So, bahala kayo kung anong type nyong gawin sa mucus nyo. Okay? Breathing. So, we have discussed this. Positive pressure breathing and then negative pressure breathing. All in all, paano nangyayari positive pressure breathing? You don't have to memorize this stuff. Nangyayari lang yan is that papasok yung air sa mouth, papasok through the nostril. Pag napuno na ng air yung mouth, yung muscles ng sa mouth, let's say sa cheeks, and then sa lower, sa wall, sa floor ng mouth, ipupush yung air na pumasok papunta sa glottis. That is inhalation. Exhalation is kapag na-relax na yung lungs, ipupush out naman yung air palabas. Negative pressure breathing, ito yung diniscuss natin. Relaxation of the chest muscles, relaxation of the diaphragm will result in exhalation. Inhalation is a result of contraction of the chest muscle and contraction of the diaphragm, allowing an increase in the volume of the chest cavity. Bakit nagfa-follow yung lungs? Bakit lalaki yung lungs kung lumaki yung chest cavity? Because of surface tension. So, I've shown you this before. So, because of liquid between the chest wall and the wall of the lungs, ang nangyayari is that kung saan pumunta yung chest cavity, doon pupunta yung wall ng lungs. Ang effect nito, lalaki yung volume ng lungs and then liliit yung pressure. So, you're going to build up negative pressure sa loob ng lungs. How do you relieve the negative pressure that was formed? By allowing entrance of air from outside. So, mangyayari is that mawawala na yung negative pressure na yun. Okay? So, yan. Discuss ko na siya. So, overview, just watch this YouTube video. Okay? So, factors that affect breathing. Tidal volume. Volume of air inhaled and exhaled in each breath. Normal air that you breathe in. Vital capacity is the maximum tidal volume during forced breathing. Compare female to a male, mas malaki yung male kasi mas malaki yung lung capacity niya. Okay? Tignan nyo yung vital capacity, liters compared to so, liit lang nung sa tidal volume. Residual volume, residue. So, this is the air that is left. Bakit uli may naiiwan? Kasi nga, dead end yung alveolus nyo. Unlike if you are a bird, na i-discuss natin later on. Old age. So, bakit bumabagal? Kapag naninigarilyo ka, kapag tumatanda ka, kapag may asthma ka, bakit mas mabagal ka? Kasi mas konting O2 ang nade-deliver sa katawan mo. Bakit? Kasi old age and those other factors increases residual volume. Kung maraming residual volume, mas maraming CO2, mas maraming waste, mas konting O2 na nakakapasok sa katawan mo. Ang nangyari is that the maximum O2 concentration in the alveoli, they decrease. Gas exchange efficiency is also decreased kasi nagmi-mix na yung waste gases with the O2 that you just have taken in. Okay? So, we'll end this up with bird breathing, presence of air sacs. If you remember how the air sacs work in insects, parang ganito rin siya, parang aspirator. Do not function directly in gas exchange, acts as bellows or bellows, kung di nyo alam yung bellows, ay nga, parang aspirator. Lungs and air sacs ventilated during breathing. Presence of the parabronchi. So, counterpart siya ng alveoli sa atin. Yung difference nila, air moves in one direction. Air is completely exchanged, so there is no residual volume. Maximum O2 concentration is higher in birds than in mammals because of non-existence of residual volume. So, paano ba nagwo-work? Parang, para maka-exhale ang ibon, dalawang cycle ng breathing. So, anong gagawin? Inhale siya. Una muna, air sacs. Discuss muna natin yung parts. Air sacs para bronchi. Okay? So, mangyari, papasok yung hangin, pupunta sa air sac, pupunta sa parabronchi. Dito, mangyari yung diffusion. Okay? Actually, malito. Dito lang diffusion dyan. Mafo-force lang siya. Lalaki siya. And then, magko-contract. Mafo-force yung air papunta sa parabronchi. Here, mag-occur yung diffusion. Okay? So, that's the expiration 1. Expiration kasi tinulak ng air sac. So, it's just like squeezing the aspirator. Ito, relaxing the aspirator. That's how you were able to get in air. To take in air. So, next, hindi pa rin nag-exhale si bird. Pumasok na, nag-release na, and afterwards, may naipong ka ng air dito. Maya-maya, next cycle ng contraction of the air sac. So, pag nag-contract na siya yung nanditong part, makaka-exhale na siya. Okay? So, kitang-kita, walang natirang gases. Nangyari is, pumasok dahil nag-relax si air sac, pumunta sa parabronchi. Pagdating sa parabronchi, lalabas yung mga O2 na kailangan, and then afterwards, magre-relax si air sac ulit. Kukunin yung mga gases na nandito, and then waste gases na to. Kapag nag-contract siya, lalabas na si gases. Ma-exhale na siya. Okay? So, that will be it for the third